So hey everybody, welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is a podcast about music. We're going to talk about some of our favorite albums, what we're listening to. Today we're going to talk about the album Thickfreakness by the Black Keys. This is not on our countdown that we're going through. This is just kind of a extra episode. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Fair warning, we say offensive things sometimes, coarse language, that kind of stuff. And I'm your host, Drewski. And with me?
And I'm Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's up, my man?
Not a lot, man. Nothing real crazy. Same kind of nothing nuts. So I ran into this podcast about, oh my goodness, about, it's called, Hidden Brain. It's by NPR.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Okay. Did you happen to hear do you listen to it at all?
Not regularly. Occasionally, the way I've heard about it is through Kirsten, and she listens to it pretty regularly. And so whenever she finds something that she thinks I'd be really interested in, she'll usually send me a link.
Right on. They had a recent episode that I listened to that was called the Cowboy Philosopher.
Okay.
And it was about this guy who, in like the late 30s or like late, 40s and 50s, the hillbilly music movement got really big.
All
and
right.
so he was in like a bunch of different bands and stuff, and he was writing music and playing. And, it turns out, he was kind of a shady kind of person that like he would sign one record label and then like before the contract went up, he'd sign to another one and he'd have like different pseudonyms that he would record under and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so the interview starts off with his daughter and she's talking about her dad. And how he would always like type on his keyboard, like he would always typing, always typing, like he would type and type and type and type and type. And, so I think it, like when she was like, I don't know, like 12 or so, someone had called their house and it was this old man, screaming saying that her dad was a crook, that he was a thief.
All right.
And that he took his entire life savings. So as it turns out, this fucking guy who's the musician that her dad had, he had been working on something like he wanted to make the American folklore song encyclopedia.
Okay.
And so he wanted to like record all the different folklore songs in America and stuff like that. And along the way, he had like gotten people to invest and he never like gave them a return or anything like that.
Right. Okay.
So like all this goes on and then like and then like when she's 18, her dad just up and leaves her and her mom and they never hear from him again. And then later on in life, like they reconnect and they kind of talk every now and again. And then he ends up passing away. And, through the course of things in like 1977, he had written to the Library of Congress telling them that like what his plans were for this and how he wanted a computer to kind of get all this information like kind of categorized.
All right.
And they kind of wrote him back to saying like, we can't help you, but here's some publishers. And then like 2 years later, he can't find a publisher. So he writes to the Library of Congress saying like, hey, I just want to return on some of like my money. Like I've done a lot of work, but I can't find anybody. And they're like, sorry. So later on, so he ends up meeting another musician later in life and they start really working at like getting this together. So after his death, all of his stuff gets turned into the Library of Congress. And there were like something like 40 fucking file boxes full of notes.
Jesus.
And this guy had like literally gone through like 40,000 different folklore songs and had 4,000 different categories of how he filed them. And he cross-referenced every song by like their diet, like, like things that were changed. Like for instance, in one song, he talks about that it was an old English, sea shanty that had come over to America and got popularized in America after the War of 1812.
Okay.
And in that, before that, he writes the correct lyrics from the British version. And then in our version, like it changed like by one little measure. Just about, instead of it being political, it was about women.
Huh. Okay. So
he did this for 40,000 songs, cross-referenced every song, wrote down every book that had that reference of that song in.
Man, that's a lot of work.
this dude took 20 years to fucking do this. And so the daughter ends up getting a copy of the book, and it's fucking, of course it's fucking huge.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so like he spent his whole life like dedicated to this passion project of recording the folklore, like the history of the folklore in America, and was like this, but on the, like, did this crazy effort, but on the other side he was this shitty, crooky fucking drifter kind of dude.
Yeah. That's fucking wild, man. It was
really interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. But yeah, check it out. It was called, again, the Cowboy Philosopher on Hidden Brain.
Yeah.
Really cool story. Really cool story.
Yeah, I'll have to give that a listen.
Anyway, so that was my Thursday.
Fucking hey, man.
Kind of blew my mind. But what else what's with you, bub? Anything fun or exciting?
Just work is work, and I worked on the commission guitars I've got going right now for a couple hours this morning. Well, shit, I guess probably 4 or 5 hours I've put in today.
Damn.
And so that's going all right. I got my truss rods, so I got those cavities routed and started working on headstocks and stuff. So that shit's going all right. And then last night I was editing the Clash that we released today.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I was doing that, it was mostly done because I had started editing that one instead of one of the other episodes a couple of weeks ago. So it was mostly done. And so I was reading the Adventure Zone graphic novel that you got me for Christmas.
Oh, right on.
So I've gotten through 3 or 4 chapters of it. So I don't know.
Right on.
I'm maybe a third of the way through or so. Maybe a little more closer to half, but that's what I got going on, my man.
Oh, cool. Have you, oh no, you haven't seen I basically stole the Adventure Zone, their campaign for our D&D group.
Yeah, we,
I totally did.
Yeah, I've only gotten through the goblin thing, at the very beginning, so.
Oh, right on.
They're just now getting into the city.
Phandalin?
Yeah, sure. That sounds right.
Sure, close enough. Alright, well, right on. Oh, fucking A, man. Alright, so you wanna get into the thick freakness that is the keys?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Alright. So, this, Thick Freakness is their second, I believe it's their second album by the Black Keys, and, mostly, I mean, almost everything was done by, Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney, and it was released in April of 2003.
Yeah, so this is, these guys, it's just those two guys. You will see in like later albums, they'll throw in some more studio work to add, like some bass lines and to throw in a couple of musicians, but it's just these two guys. I mean, like, the drummer and a guitar player, you know?
Yeah. And it's very much like the White Stripes.
Yeah.
It's just those two people and that's what they do. Except except they actually have a competent drummer and they're barely.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but they also kind of approach a similar genre of music. These guys are more, I guess, modern blues, contemporary blues than White Stripes. I think White Stripes is I think Jack White, while he does have a very bluesy background, I think he also incorporates that kind of British rock style a little bit as well.
True. He gets a little more experimental with different songs and stuff like that. Like he does Jumble Jumbles, is kind of like Iggy Poppy.
Yeah.
More, punk kind of stuff. And then, these guys are heavily entrenched in like the blues scene, which if anybody's listening is surprised that Andrew picked a blues album. Welcome to the show for the first time.
Well, it's just, this is absolutely my genre, and especially the blues rock, which is very much what these guys do. So, I mean, I got into Black Keys. Oh man. I want to say the Brothers album is the first album I ever heard.
Was that when, I bought the album and then that was the only CD I had in my car for a month?
I think so.
We played
So
it like over and over again.
I don't think that was my very first exposure to the Black Keys, because at that time I had a satellite radio and I listened to Bluesville all the fucking time, as well as like some alternative rock stuff, and so they have what's that song on Brothers that's like uber popular?
Howlin' for You, I think.
Well, that's one, but that's not the one I'm thinking of.
It's not Howlin' for You. I could have sworn that was their big hit from that album.
Man,
maybe. Let me see. Hold on, give me one sec. I could
no, I mean, Howlin' for You's definitely a popular song, but, Tighten Up. Tighten Up was the...
Oh, Tighten Up was the one. Yeah, you're right.
Tighten Up was like ridiculously popular.
That was their real big one, yeah.
Like, that was like a breakout, like it was I mean, I'm sure these guys were popular in the blues rock community, before that, but I think that broke them into like the mainstream alternative rock kind of,
yeah, that is true.
Scene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember hearing that song like over and over and over and over again when it came out.
Yeah, for sure. So, and that's probably the first song I ever heard. If it's not, then I wasn't paying attention to the artist on the radio kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that totally got me into it. And then you had Brothers in your car forever. And that's like all we listened to for several months.
Like months and months. I remember we went to San Antonio or some shit, and that was the only CD I brought.
Yeah.
The only thing we listened to all the way up and all the way back.
But it's a fucking good album. So, I mean, I'm not complaining.
It's a great album. For sure. And, I'm kind of upset that I never I knew of them before Brothers came out in like 2010.
Right.
But I never like took the time to actually sit down and get into them. And I'm really upset that I wasted so much time before that.
Yeah, man, I feel you. Like, this is right in my wheelhouse, and, it would have been nice to have recognized this band or heard of this band before Brothers, for sure, because, I mean, this was all going on when I was in high school, and this would have been great high school music for me.
For sure. Like this one, especially like the Rubber Factory or whatever.
Rubber Factory, yeah, that's a really good album.
I know when you were texting me, you're like, I want to do a Keys album, but I don't know which one to do.
Yeah, man, it was...
Pick one, because like we're gonna get through them all eventually, because they're all amazing.
Yeah, these guys are kind of like Portugal to me in that they can almost do no wrong. For sure.
I feel the same way. Yeah, that I completely agree. I also feel like Tool's that way for me. Like nothing that they do I don't like.
Right.
There's probably a couple other bands that I could think of that just they're always amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, Jack White's kind of like that, but he's got some experimental stuff that doesn't really connect with me as well. So, he's kind of out and in.
I wasn't a real fan of the Racketeurs. Like they did okay, but I wasn't a huge fan of a lot of them.
Yeah, they have some good music. Like they have what's that, Carolina Drama that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like I mean, I will frequent White Stripes more than I will his other, little side projects.
Than his side projects, yeah, for sure. Or his solo stuff for that matter too.
Yeah.
I also feel like Queens of the Stone Age, like
okay,
all of their stuff are really good. Like there's nothing of theirs I don't like. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch more that I can think of that it's kind of in this vein that I just, is good. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this. So, number one is the self-titled track, Thickfreakness.
Yeah.
What you think?
So this song is, like mostly instrumental. There's a couple of short verses that come in towards the end, and it's just got it's just got a fucking, like, this heavy bluesy guitar riff that comes right out of the beginning, and it's great.
No, for sure. I like the opening. It's kind of like that, it reminds me of like Kickstart My Heart. Like when it opens, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. With the dive, where it brings it in with the dive.
Uh-huh.
Or the reverse dive, or whatever you want to call it.
You're the musician, I'm not. But I just like that hard opening. Yeah, for sure. Great song. Great song.
So yeah, I don't know. This is it's just a badass like blues rock lick, and they play it up, and like I said, towards the end they have some lyrics, and it's just kind of like I don't know. The lyrics are kind of like "Love me, I'll love you back" kind of shit.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm much like Stevie Ray. There's not going on like lyrically, like it's pretty straightforward lyrically. But that's not the whole point. That's not the point of the album. Like the album is about the music.
Yeah, for sure.
And doing it well.
And what two people can do with together. Just
exactly.
having a drummer and a guitar player. And man,
go ahead.
So if I remember right, Dan Auerbach is the guitarist and singer, correct?
Yes.
Right on that one?
Yeah, Dan's the front man, and then Patrick's the drummer.
The drummer. So yeah, I love this guy's guitar tone. I love this guy's voice, and Dan and Patrick as a team know how to play off each other really well, and I think they come out hitting real strong with this, just as a look at what we can do, and like I think this song is right there to grab your fucking attention and just be like, all right, this is our group, this is what we can do, and this is what you're in for. Like this is some damn good blues rock.
For sure. And I think what I remember reading was that what they did was they ended up buying all their equipment and recording it themselves, like on like a 4-track or some stupid shit. Like they were working at like some bullshit jobs. I think one of them actually worked at like a record store or like a Radio Shack or something like that.
Okay.
They ended up slowly buying all of their equipment bit by bit, and then they put this all together like on the most simplistic of equipment, because they wanted that kind of grungy garage soundy sound.
That would make sense. But I mean, I don't know I didn't do enough research to really know what Dan Auerbach uses like equipment wise as far as guitar and amps and stuff, but he's got a great tone. And he pretty much always sticks to like a darker, real crunchy tone. So it's not super distorted, but it's certainly not clean. And that's his MO. And very occasionally you hear some clean songs on some of these albums, but yeah, he locks in with, he found his fucking tone, and he sticks with it for the most part.
Which I like that kind of that gritty sound that they have, like the real like unpolished kind of almost granulating sound to it.
Yeah, and I think
that's what. Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I do think like even on this shows that, and we've seen this before with like with the Clash, for instance. They had a fucking 4-track and they're recording in a house or some shit, and this just goes to show that if you get, a halfway decent microphone into your mix board and you have a decent guitar amp, I mean, the amp is the biggest key to your tone, because, you can't, it's hard to do anything with one of those $10 Walmart, amps, and really nice amps cost anywhere from $300 to $3,000,
Jesus.
So I think he found himself a good combination with whatever amp, whatever guitar pedals, and whatever guitar he's using. And once he got that tone dialed in, then he just stuck a microphone in front of it, and it sounds fucking good, plain and simple. And the same thing with the drums, like the drums don't sound super tinny. They're not, it doesn't sound like they're recording the drums in a hallway or anything like that. Like he's got his drums tuned correctly, and they just sound tight. And that's a good thing.
For sure. And, but I mean, they're tight, but what they're going for is that unclean sound.
For sure.
But I mean, that's I think their drawing point is that they want that, like that's what got me, is that kind of unclean sound to it.
Yeah, definitely. And then he backs it up with a voice that's just got that little bit of grit in it as well.
For sure.
And man, he's a good vocalist. So.
Yeah, no, it's amazing that these two can do what they do with just two people.
Yeah.
Two very talented people, what they do with it, it's crazy. Like I've heard, I mean, I've heard bands that are like 14 pieces that sound like fucking train wrecks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Dan has a huge range vocally, so I don't think he can hit 8 octaves the way Axl Rose can, but he probably covers 2 or 3 for the most part, and that's enough because it gets across that. But he's got because he's got that grit in the back of his throat, like he's been smoking for 25 years, and it just.
But I mean, it's the blues, man. Really need to hit high notes in the blues, like. Oh
no, and
it's all sad, sappy shit, like.
Yeah, I mean,
this bitch left me, or I left this bitch, and I'm sad about it. But you want to have that deep kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like sound.
Oh yeah. I totally agree.
I mean, you don't have to. Yeah. I mean, gospel. Yeah, maybe if it were more of a gospel-y, like kind of like what like the Constellations did on their second album, then yeah, you hit those higher notes for the uplifting thing.
The Constellation's second album.
I know, but as an example,
I know.
I'm not happy about it either.
Man, it's just that first album was so good.
I know. They actually released a new song. I heard it like a week ago.
Oh yeah? Is it good?
Yes. So it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's good for their second album. It's okay for their first album. So they might be dropping a new album soon.
Okay.
And I didn't look at who was producing it, but I'm really hoping it was CeeLo Green again, because he did a hell of a job on the first album.
Yeah, dude, that first album was just fucking, it was wild. That thing just, it hit me out, it hit me sideways and in the best possible way.
For sure.
Anyway.
So moving on to Hard Row, second song on the album, Hard Row.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think?
This is a good song. I mean, I'm gonna say that about all of these. They're all good songs.
Yeah, I mean, we're a fucking album we don't like. So
yeah.
I'm feeling like this, everything that we do on the side that we choose, we're gonna rate them as 10s because they're our favorites.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not gonna pick a shitty album, or maybe we will. I don't know. You might pick a month where you just. Well, when we decide, like, break and then let's pick a shitty album. I think that's fun. I don't know if you would do it.
So I mean, for our breaks, I kind of like to do stuff we like, but at the same time, I'm what would get me on board with that would be, let's try to find an album worse than that piece of shit Pavement album we listened to.
Like if we scour the internet to find like the worst albums, or that could be our one of our next lists. If we get through this top 100, we could do like top 10 worst albums of all time.
Oh God, I wouldn't even know where to start. But that one would
already.
That we got one. But yeah. Hard Row is it's not one of my favorites. It's a good song. I'll listen to it. It's if I'm putting together a playlist, this probably misses like my Best of Black Keys playlist by a long shot.
For sure. It's not there. It's good when you, but it's not one of my go.
Well, it's one of this is a song for me that's like, okay, this is a good song, and then I hear like the rest of this album, and I'm like, okay. Oh, there's a lot to this album. So,
yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
Like you said, lyrically, it doesn't have a ton of depth in most of their songs. It's mostly about, finding a woman and that kind of stuff. Like that's just kind of, I feel like the title of the album, Thickfreakness, kind of implies that that's what they're going to get into, is like, this is a song about women, you know?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, like I said, they're, lyrically, they're pretty straightforward. Like, there's no illusions here. There's no metaphors or anything like that.
Yeah, cause I mean, like,
there's one cool reference that I have that's pretty neat, but beyond that, it's pretty straightforward.
okay. So yeah, this one is, basically, the title line of this song is "Hard Road to Hoe All by Yourself."
Yeah.
So,
but this whole song's about, like, when times are tough, you need somebody to lean on.
yeah,
That's why, I'll pray for you, you pray for me. It's kind of like two people who are in this, like, tough situation, and it's like a support system.
right. Well,
it's hard, you need somebody.
Yeah. And it's talking about, being all by yourself, with, walk out on me, walk out on him, you don't need no man to do you in, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, like, you're a strong woman, but, it's hard to be by yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why you need, I think the singer is talking to the person in this, who he's speaking to is like a friend, a good friend that,
yeah,
hey,
for sure.
Times are tough, fucking, we got each other. I don't, and there's no like sexual thing about it. It's just a matter of two people who just, a support system like that, like people, no man is an kind of thing.
So this one, I will say this song, is where, so the last song, he doesn't really do a lot of, if he is finger picking, I don't hear it. In this song, you start to hear it. Because, and this is something that he does a lot. And he's just, he thumps the bass note with his thumb and then picks the other notes in his chord or in his progression, with his finger on the more treble side strings. And I think that's something that this guy does, that Dan Auerbach does really well, is this finger pick style, where it's not all like hard, fast blues rock. Like this slows it down a little, and they don't have all hard, some of their stuff is hard and fast, some of their stuff isn't, I don't know.
Or like, I Cry Alone, slower song.
Yeah. And so this song is kind of medium pace, and, but he starts to introduce that, more prevalent finger picking style with this, and it's another kind of introduction into their style, I think. But it certainly gets stronger.
So let me see if I got this straight. So what you're saying is like kind of like on the bass when you like slap the string with your thumb, like, you know what I mean?
Not quite.
Like, is he doing that on the low strings and then picking with the higher strings?
Not quite. It to me it sounds more like he's plucking the low string with his thumb. So not slapping it, but more of a pluck. Okay. So he's and then picking the higher strings with his other fingers. So he's probably using, anywhere from 3 to 5 fingers on his right hand, as well as using his whole left hand to grab his different chord patterns and stuff.
Yeah.
Shapes.
Huh.
So it's pretty common in kind of the blues genre. B.B. King is somebody that does a little bit of finger picking here and there. He's probably not the best example, but because he has some other stuff that is more strumming as well. But you'll see it throughout musicians. I can't think of somebody off the top of my head that's like real famous for their finger picking style. You also see it in a lot of like country. And pretty much all of your banjo players finger pick.
For sure. I'm thinking more of like that mariachi song that like. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Definitely with Spanish guitar and that classical style, you definitely see pretty much all finger picking. So that's another good example. Now you will see some of the mariachi songs where they, like, mariachi's pretty much all finger picking, but you will see some of that style of song when they go electric, where they start strumming.
No, I'm not saying mariachi in general. I'm saying the mariachi song. No. I am saying mariachi in general is pretty much all finger picking. Okay.
Like a mariachi band acoustic they're not going to use picks. They're all going to be using their fingers and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, in that song, that's a good example of where you'll see a lot of finger picking as well, especially with like the solo and the intro, like you were referencing. So, but Dan Auerbach does that well in this song, and a lot of these songs also too. That's a common theme here as well. So I think that's his preferred style.
I learned something today. I learned that dogs don't lay eggs. Right on. Okay, cool. Right on, huh? I didn't really get too deep into into like the music breakdowns and things that I like kind of thing. I was more of just kind of glancing over the songs.
Yeah,
like the lyrics themselves, but that's what you're here for, right?
Well, this being like right in my wheelhouse, I noticed that kind of thing because I've heard so much of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So like when we start talking about nuances in like different punk music and stuff, I might be able to talk about the guitar tone a little and stuff like that, but you know, I don't know that kind of stuff. And metal, I'm a little stronger, but not, you know, I'm not my brother. I'm not a metal player.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just like right up my alley. So it's stuff that and listening to it, I listened to it a couple of times today, through this album just to kind of get reassociated with it. And, I tried to pay attention to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Right on. All right. Let's go on to, Set You Free.
Yeah. Got any notes on this one?
I kind of liked. Mostly that, just kind of what the song is about. It's about like a girl who loves a guy, but the guy doesn't give a shit about her, but the singer does. He's like, I'll set you free. Like, this guy don't care for you, but if you're with me, I'll set you free and it'll be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I've got. And then, I do like it's kind of a style change from the first two songs. Like it's a little more, I don't know, I found it a little more, uplifting, like in their tone.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like it sounded a little, happier.
Okay.
Or more positive, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. The musical tone for sure. The lyrics are still, you know, kind of like he's gonna hurt you. I won't.
But I think that's why they put that kind of lighter spin, is because he's trying to spin this in like a positive light of trying to sell himself to somebody else.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that's why I think the mood is a little faster, mm-hmm. and the notes aren't like minor notes. You know what I mean? Like they're more straight chord notes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know, cause like minor notes have like that sad.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the sad, you know, and this isn't, this one doesn't hit those as much. From what I.
Yeah, this one doesn't, this one didn't stick with me as well as some of the other songs, so I'm having a hard time, you know, thinking of anything, really specific about like, how this song is structured, but I think you put it really well.
Yeah. And then, and it kind of almost has like the guitar almost has, it feels like it has like a, you know, like trumpets have those mutes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It kind of has like a capped or a muted sound on the guitar.
Okay.
It's like a light reverb, but kind of muted too.
All right. So maybe.
So.
Yeah. I don't, man, again, since this one didn't really grab me, I don't really recall, a lot of specifics about the tone, but I don't know. I don't know what he would use for that. I don't know if he would use, you know, some kind of a noise gate or something, but.
I couldn't tell you. It sounds like almost like a muffled wah.
Okay. So.
You know what I mean?
So kind of like a cocked wah kind of sound?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of has like almost a wah feel to it, but it's not like super, but it, you know what I mean? Like it's like again, a muffled like wah sound.
Yeah. Okay. So what I would imagine he's done here is he's just rolled his tone control off a little bit. Cause a wah pedal is the easiest way to explain a wah pedal is basically, taking your guitar's tone control and putting it, on a pedal so that, you know, one position is your tone control rolled all the way off and bleeds off the trebles, and the other position is, where your trebles come in really strong. And it's used a lot in like, funk and psychedelic and even blues, like Jimi Hendrix used a bunch of wah. So I imagine if he maintains, cause I don't remember hearing a lot of like, the actual like, actuation of it where it comes in and out.
Yeah, no,
so,
like like I said, it's like a wah, but it only like lasts maybe like an eighth note.
Okay.
Past the strum.
Okay.
So it's not like, wahing on to infinity.
Yeah. So there's there's definitely a couple of things that could be going on there, but I don't know enough. I have a few pedals, but I don't know enough in my guitar effects repertoire to really know what's going on there. But
I don't know. You're like the math guy.
I'm the math guy that's made a lot of math mistakes on this podcast.
You're like a math guy. Math has nothing to do with this.
So I don't know. I imagine he's just got his tone rolled off a little, and he's just muddied it up a little bit.
Maybe. Yeah, it's kind of murky. Anyway,
I'll have to give it another listen and see if something sticks out to me, because this is one that
before we go to.
Well, I mean, like I said, this song just kind of passed me by. It doesn't stick with me like some of the other ones.
Yeah, again, it's that and hard rock. They're kind of not the forte of the album, for me at least.
Yeah,
it's a good song.
Yeah, they're good, but they don't grab you by the balls like some of the other stuff does.
For sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Midnight in Her Eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of, this one does grab.
This one does, however. This is a very different song.
It is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, they slow the tempo down a little bit, and he finger picks more here, and it's definitely not like the other stuff on the album, really.
For sure, it's a slower song. But I have to say there's like, 1, 2, 3, like 4 slower songs on this album. I mean, this album's 11 songs long, but, so I mean, like, it's not so when you hear this slowdown, it kind of, it jars you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like when Stevie, like, boom, there's like 3 hard songs, boom, a break song. 3 hard songs, boom, a break song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, this the guitar riff on this is, the intro riff that is very much, a finger picking style guitar riff, and it's good. Man, it's a good guitar riff. Like it really caught my attention the first time I heard this song.
For sure. Do you happen to know, is this a cover song or is this an original? You're more, because I know they cover a couple of songs on this album, but I didn't know if this was one of theirs or not.
I don't know. In the Genius listing, it says written by Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney. So
so this is their song.
I didn't do any research into what, but it does say written by Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney. So I don't know. The problem is I'm not familiar enough with this website to know if they call out covers. They did call out that one, Clash song that was a Rasta.
The
cover,
Rasta one.
Yeah, the Rasta.
Police and Thieves.
Yeah, they did call that out as being a God. What's that genre of music called? Fuck me.
Rastafarian.
Yeah, we'll go with that. There's a word I'm searching for. I don't. No, there's a word I'm searching for. Reggae.
Oh, that's the word. Reggae.
Oh, reggae. That's the word I was looking for, but Rastafari was
Jesus
what came up.
Christ.
Yeah.
How do, yeah, 2 white dudes talking about fucking reggae. Awesome.
Yeah, we know music.
We know musica.
Yeah, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about, but goddamn it, we're gonna act like we do.
Fake it till you make it, yeah?
For sure.
If this is one of their songs, I'm really surprised because my top 3 songs on this album, the number 1 and number 2 are covers.
Okay, so I mean, I guess that's gonna spoil it a little bit. What are your top 3 songs on this album?
Well, we'll get there when we finish.
Okay. All right.
But that's what kind of surprised me when I was actually listening to this album and I wrote down, I was like, all right, I kind of went in blind. I was like, okay, well, I'm not exactly blind because I know this whole album, but I was like, okay, I'm looking at the list of songs from the keys. I'm like, all right, top 3 songs, this one. So
I actually don't know which songs on this album are covers. I could guess, but we'll get into it when we get to each song.
Yeah.
So, but
that's why I was asking. That's why I was asking if this was a cover, because if it was, then all of my favorite songs in this album were just fucking covers that they happen to do really, really well.
So not according to the notes I have on Genius, but this is a great fucking song.
This is a great song. It's the whole point is just somebody pining for someone else.
Yeah.
And then it's basically Midnight in Her Eyes is her crying about someone being gone, which is, I don't know, just a great song.
Yeah, and I mean it's just this is, I don't know, Midnight in Her Eyes is it's a great fucking metaphor, and they don't put a lot of metaphors in their lyrics. It's probably the only metaphor in this song. One of
the very few in this entire album. But yeah, no, that does, I mean, that hits, that's a very good metaphor for somebody being sad.
I agree. And this is just a good song. Like I said, the guitar riff just grabs you and pulls you in right at the beginning. It comes in, it's a little slower than the other stuff we heard before. And it's just, I don't know, the way they pair that with, the tone of the music matches the tone of the song. And that's, again, something we've seen with a lot of the artists we've liked in the list, where they're really good at pairing the tone of their songs with the tone of the lyrics. And, they do it well here too. Matching
the meaning and the mood, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And I think, that's one of the things I like about the Black Keys in general, but, I think that's one of the things that makes a great artist.
Or a group or whatever, is just being able to match the mood of the song with the demeanor of what they're doing. Or if you're like Beck or the Toadies and Andrew doesn't listen to the fucking lyrics and it's about rape and you just don't know.
And it's all upbeat and poppy. And,
oh yeah, alright, cool, yeah. I found a window in the kitchen, alright.
Yeah. I don't think there's a rapey song on here, but if there is, it's probably one of my favorites.
There's not a rape, no. If there's a rape song on here, it's Andrew. No, I don't believe there's a rape song on here.
Not to my knowledge.
If it is, then it's very textured and I didn't catch that shit at all.
Yeah. So
some Dan Brown fucking Angels and Demons shit that I didn't catch at all.
No, I think they stay away from that. But yeah, it's a good one.
Well, that's not a rape song. That I was thinking of 10 Cent Pistol. There is cheating going on. She shoots that motherfucker.
Oh yeah. But I mean, that's not even on this album. That's on.
That's on Brothers.
Yeah.
But you brought up a good point that I kind of want to hit. That Midnight in Her Eyes is a good metaphor. There's another band called there's a band called Morphine.
Okay.
And they're more of like a jazzy rock kind of feel.
Okay.
And one of their songs is the title of one of their songs is "You Look Like Rain."
Oh.
And I thought that was a really cool metaphor for a mood,
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I like that.
I just wanted to say that I thought of that.
I don't know the band Morphine at all, so.
Oh, we'll get there because that's a really good band, and I think it's only a 3-piece as well. I think it's a bass player, a drummer, and the guy plays the saxophone.
Okay.
Or I don't know if it's baritone. I think it's baritone or alto.
Man. Speaking of fucking baritone sax, god damn, Fits and the Tantrums, have you heard them? They had some real popular poppy song, and I can't remember it off the top of my head.
We've watched Live at Daryl's House,
That's
episode of Live at Daryl's House with
That's
Fits and the Tantrums. I was kind of surprised that it was that kind of emo looking, kind of hipster looking motherfucker and this really talented fucking African American lady.
Oh, dude, that's a band I haven't listened to in a while, but man, they're talented. And I love that they use a fucking, I don't know if it's a bass sax or a baritone sax, but they use the low sax for their bass. I mean, they have a bass guitar and some of their stuff too, but from, some of the Guitar Center sessions and Live at Gerald's House, it's they use that low sax as to carry their bass line. And man, it's unique and it's good. Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
They're a very talented group for sure.
For sure. And they found each other like on Craigslist or some shit like that.
Yeah, something weird like that where they were all in like different failing bands and they just kind of got together with some random coincidence and it just fucking worked.
Yeah. Anyway.
Moving on.
Okay, so let's move on to Have Love Will Travel.
Yeah, I fucking love this song. And
this is, yeah. Oh yeah, they do a hell of a, and I know this is
one of the covers?
Is a cover for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Cause I think your boy Clapton did a cover of this one.
I'm not sure. If he has, I don't know that I've heard it. But this is a great fucking song that, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people covered it.
I think it's one of those, generic blues songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the one that like Sweet Home Chicago or something like that every blues player fucking knows. For sure. And man, they do a good job with it. They do it. It's kind of grungy sounding, but man, they knock it the fuck out of the park.
Yeah. And again, man, the way he just fucking pairs his guitar tone with the style he's playing it. Cause you know, this is very much an alternative style of blues rock. Like this is not they don't do a lot. This particular song is a 12-bar song, but they don't do a particularly lot of 12-bar, or if they do, they mask it well. So they're very much like alternative rock, take to the blues rock scene. And I think that's one of the things that really drew me to them. Cause, you know, I listen to alt rock too, but, you know, kind of crossing it over and doing it as well as they do, man. And fuck, I love this song. This is such a good cover.
Yeah, it really is. And, it's one of the songs that really got me like really, really interested in the keys.
Yeah.
Like just the, I think they have they have this on an EP called, oh God.
Is it, The Moan?
The Moan. Yes, The Moan. But they do a different version of this song that's a little more grittier, which I like better, honestly. And then they do, and they have some other song. Oh, Work Me is on that one.
Oh,
Chillahoma.
Okay.
Chillahoma is the EP. It has Have Love Will Travel and then, the Work Me. Damn, Work Me's a good song too.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
That's a good baby making song.
So the note I have here, and you might have this written down too, but this was originally written by Richard Berry. I don't know who that is though.
Yeah,
is that like Chuck Berry's brother?
No, I don't know. I've heard. Turns out related to Little Richard. I don't know. Weird, right?
Yeah.
No, but I think this is one of those like typical blues songs, but it happens to be a fucking jam of a song.
It is, man, and it you know, it's very much a 12-bar blues in A, and but man, this is just like you said, it's one of those fucking jam songs for the blues. It's one of those typical jam songs, but it's fucking written well. Like I couldn't tell you if the Black Keys wrote the particular lick that they use for this, or if that's you know, part of the cover as well. But that fucking guitar lick and the way the lyrics are structured, fucking just really hit a chord with me. I don't know. I like the lyrics of this song
for sure, and it's just. Hey man, from Maine down to Mexico, I'll fucking like.
Yeah, I'll find that girl who satisfies me.
Yeah, I like everything about this song. The lyric, like the everything about this song is aces.
Yeah, dude, it's bomb.com. So
for sure.
This is a song that I fucking love fucking playing whenever I'm doing some kind of open mic or some bullshit like that, or just practicing in my house. I fucking love this song. So
it's a great song.
It's right there in my repertoire. Just with this and like Howlin' for You, and oh man, we'll get to Howlin' for You when we get to whatever album that one's on. Brothers. Yeah. God, it's a good song.
Anyway. Okay. So yeah, great song. Well, there's not a great song on this album. So we're going to say that a lot.
Yeah.
But, let's go ahead and move on to Hurt Like Mine.
Yeah. So I do have to admit that, towards the end of this album, the songs don't stick with me as well because, they're towards the end of the album and they're not as prevalent in a lot of the key stuff that I've heard. But like I said, there's not really a bad song on this album. So
yeah, I think as far as this whole album goes, this is the peace song for me.
Okay.
It's good, and it's good because if you have a hurt like mine, about some girl, a girl leaving a dude and hurt like mine.
yeah. This is very much a post breakup song.
But the one note that I have on here is in the middle of the song he says Rivertown is burning, and it's like smoke and flames or something like that, and so it references when the Ohio River
caught on fire
in 1969. And they're from Akron, which the river flows through.
That makes sense.
Which they got to see a literal river get lit on fire.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Which happened more than once.
I know that that river's just so polluted it's fucking flammable. That's out of this goddamn world.
Fucking crazy. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So that's hurt like mine.
Yeah.
Rivers catch on fire sometimes. Right, so, and then we move on to Everywhere I.
Yeah. This is kind of a peace song for me. Like it.
Oh man, this is not for me.
Okay, this is a really good song. But it's just not like it's not one of my favorites. But it's definitely a really good song.
Yeah, I like how slow. It's kind of slow and the I don't know. I kind of get lost. Whenever I hear this song, it makes me get in my own head.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of the fun thing about it. It kind of brings this like soothing kind of droning thing on. But I really like this song. I think this is one of the better songs in the album. It is mostly instrumental.
Right.
They don't have a lot. Like I think they say Everywhere I Go 15 times in this song, and there's like two verses that are like 3 sentences long.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lyrics and there's like 2 sentences and they're repeated. That's pretty
over and over and over. It's like a mantra kind of song. Like if you were to meditate, this would be the song to do it to.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's a cover from Junior Kimbrough.
Okay, yeah.
And, I believe in one of their, if not their first, one of the albums, there's a song that's like a letter from Junior's wife.
Huh, okay.
And it's like, her speaking to her reading a letter to I want to say it's the band. And I think they were like really, really, so from what I gather, because I didn't do a lot of research, but, I think the letter from Junior's wife is Junior Kimbrough's wife is writing a letter to the guys and she reads it to them about, how proud Junior would be for, I guess from the tutelage that they took from him and covering his songs and bringing him back. And she's like, y'all do a great job and he'd be really proud of y'all. And I'm glad his music's still living, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Cause he's a pretty big name in the blues. He's not like, he's not Jimi Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan or B.B. King or Albert King but he's an older name, in the blues. And so like pretty much all of your blues players at least know who he is. Like I'm not super familiar with his catalog, seeing as how I didn't even know this was a cover of one of his songs, but he is pretty well known in the community as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. And so I think this is anyway. Yeah, it's one of his songs that they cover and I really like this song.
Yeah, okay. Well,
anyway,
I'm glad.
So, moving on to No Trust.
Yeah, I really fucking dug the guitar riff for this too.
I do too.
Yeah.
And,
go ahead.
And I like what they're talking about in this. It's, okay. So in like the opening,
yeah,
opening of this song is, a girl is mad and she tells the dude to stop the car and she's gonna get out.
Yep.
Have you ever been in that situation?
Yep.
Next question. Did you stop?
Yep.
Did they get out?
Okay, so, this has happened to me, I didn't stop immediately. It took a while. It took some goddamn convincing. But eventually, yeah, and she got the fuck out and, eventually got back in.
Okay, so you didn't leave her there.
Nah, I didn't leave her there.
Okay.
What about you?
This has happened 3 times. One of the times I said, you're being stupid, we're not doing that. Second time, I immediately pulled the fuck over and immediately drove the fuck off.
There you go.
Third time, I stopped, she got out, and then got back in.
Well, alright.
Yeah. I was curious as to what your, what happened with you during that situation?
Right. Yeah, I don't remember any of the any details outside of that, but, yep, this is definitely a relatable scenario to anybody that's been in a relationship with anyone who's crazy.
Yep. And that's why it happened to me 3 times.
But yeah, man, the fucking, the guitar lick that they come in on this song and then just going straight into, that first verse about getting out in the middle of the road, just, man, it grabs you because it's a powerful fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you've been in this situation. And then the guitar lick on top of that is just fucking, it's delicious.
For sure. And I feel like, that specific scenario, so my stepdad's a lawyer, and, a lot of things that lawyers have to ask clients is, how many times have you been arrested?
Okay. And
so what my stepdad has boiled that down to is sometimes you don't remember if you were arrested or not. What he does is he asks, how many times have you had handcuffs on?
Okay.
And I feel like that's a more like, pertinent kind of thing that you remember. It's something physical that you remember. How many times you've been handcuffed?
Right.
So like, when they're talking about a girl getting out of the car, like, you remember the fuck out of that shit.
Yeah, you do.
Remember exactly. Like, I remember I did this happened, and this is what happened next.
I don't know. I don't know if I remember what we were fighting about because it was everything.
Oh, you never do. But what I'm saying is you were pulling the fuck over and her getting the fuck out. Like, you remember that shit.
So.
Yeah. Anyway. I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Good song.
Okay.
This is up there.
Oh, for sure. And this whole song is about a person who can't trust anyone, and whenever they feel like they can't trust someone, they throw a fucking fit because they just don't relate to whatever. They just want to throw a fit because they don't feel like they can trust the person.
Yeah. And he goes into about, how she can't handle being with somebody that's in a rock band, and she's beautiful, but you can't argue with her, and that kind of thing. So
never been there before. All right, so let's go and move on to If You See Me.
Yeah, this is a good song too. Surprise, surprise.
This made me think of that fucking Zeppelin song. What was the one? I'm gonna throw your man out in the yard.
Man,
I know I couldn't remember it either. I know it was on Physical Graffiti. I remember listening to it.
Man, but, I don't know. That's not the album I'm most familiar with. So
it was like I'm gonna kick your man out or something.
I remember
if I'm coming over, we're gonna fuck.
yeah. I remember the talking about it, but I don't remember the name of the song.
Yeah, I couldn't peg the song either. It's driving me nuts. Anyway,
so this is.
But go ahead.
This is another fucking great fucking guitar lick, and it's just catchy. This song is catchy for me, lyrically and musically. For sure. No, this is a great song. This is fucking, shit. It's about, hey, if you see me coming, you get your fucking KY out, goddamn it. We're going to about to have it. We're about to swing from the chandeliers, goddamn it. Better treat me right. If I'm coming over, you better treat me right.
Yeah, it's about somebody just knocking somebody's coming over to fuck. If I come over, we're gonna fuck.
Yep. Definitely a fucking.
But the music's great. I mean, everything. It's almost the perfect song.
Man, it's just, it's like, it's, the whole song is like short and to the point. Musically, lyrically, it's all just like, it's quick. It's, like the guitar lick is fucking strong and right there with you too. And it's just, fuck, yeah, man, it's great. Short and to the point. Let's fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's like if you've ever had somebody that's all you do.
Yeah.
All we're here to do is have sex. Like that's, so it's, see me coming, get ready. We're in and out. Boom.
Yep.
All right. That was fun. Have a good day. All right. But yeah, that's, I don't know. Yeah. Short and sweet. Next.
Yeah.
All right. So, go on to Hold Me in Your Arms.
Yeah. What do you think?
I liked it. I like the, it's kind of got this like, like a stumbling feel to it.
Okay.
If that makes any sense, which I don't think it does.
Yeah, but, I would say it's, meandering.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. It's got that,
yeah.
Like it's kind of like if like a guitar had like a southern drawl.
Okay.
That's what it would be. Cause it kind of like bleeds into the next word.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. That's a good description for that.
That's how I view it. But, and on top of that, he's got a real like molassesy kind of speaking like tone to him in this song, more so than others.
Yeah. This
like it's kind of like,
this song is, so the last song was a booty call, and this song is, the woman that you'll cuddle with afterwards.
This is just longing to be held and you know, that reassurance kind of thing.
Yeah. So putting these two songs back to back, it's like, we gonna fuck, then we gonna cuddle.
Then we gonna cuddle.
Then we gonna cuddle.
Well, sometimes it's like that.
Yeah, man.
Be like that sometimes.
I mean, you know, it's good. That's the good.
That's that good. Mm-hmm. Yep. True story.
You like it, baby.
And then we got a last one. I Cry Alone. You're dead and empty inside.
Yeah, this one I wasn't super familiar with this song. I guess I hadn't made it this far into the album a lot, or maybe it's a P song for me and I just never really paid that much attention. It's not a bad song. Mm-hmm. It's not in my top 5 or anything.
Oh, it's definitely in mine.
Oh, okay.
I love this song. It's, I like the somber side to it. I like that kind of doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. I don't know. I like it. And then he kind of belts things out in the middle. Like, I cry alone.
Yeah,
Like as if he were, you know,
so
commanding the idea that
he's getting like kind of like a rush of emotions in the middle of it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I mean the whole song is about someone, like a girl that he loved that he had to let go.
Okay.
And then like she loved him, he loved her thing, but he had to let her go. So now I cry alone because it's better for her to be gone, kind of thing.
Yeah.
She could do better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Like I said, I just wasn't, you know, this wasn't one that I was super familiar with coming back to this album. So, either just not super memorable to me, or maybe I just didn't make it this far in the album before. So I'm not really sure.
But no, it's one of my favorite ones. It's got more, I don't know, just the way they play it, it has a lot more gravity. But again, I'm more of the sappy song kind of dude. So this is I like the depressing songs over the happy ones, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. So what were your 3 favorite songs on this album?
Okay. So my top 3, number 1, Will Travel.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
For sure. Number 2 is Everywhere I Go.
All right.
So those 2 were the covers. And then I've got a tie for 3rd.
Okay.
Which isn't, I know it's not like a good thing, but I couldn't choose between the 2.
I don't care.
It's either Midnight and Cry Alone.
Okay. All right. Fucking
What about you, bub?
Oh man. Fucking Have Level of Travel. I know it's a cover, but fuck, it's a great song. and it's
fucking great song.
It's just
it's the highlight of the fucking album.
It is the generic blues song of the album too, but it's fucking it's so well written, and that guitar lick is probably the most memorable guitar lick on this album for me.
Yeah, and I've heard a couple of different people play this song, and the way they play it, I like the best out of anybody I've heard play this song. Okay. They do it the best.
Okay, so that's gonna be my number one.
Okay.
Number two is probably Midnight in Her Eyes.
Okay.
I fucking love that song.
For sure.
I really like the guitar lick, and it's good. Number three, this is tough.
I know.
Number three is tough because, man, there's just such good fucking songs in this album. I'm gonna go, probably the title track, Thickfreakness.
Thickfreakness. Okay.
Just because of that fucking guitar riff at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, like, number three is, 4 and 5 are going to be, Everywhere I Go and No Trust. No, I'm sorry. No Trust and If You See Me. Sorry. If You See Me Coming and No Trust. Those are the other two that I'd swap out with that number 3 position.
Okay.
Just cause they're fucking great, man.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
So there's another thing we haven't talked about, and it is the cover art to this album.
Oh, yeah.
So
that pomade looking shit.
Yeah. So it's the cover art to this album is like a can of pomade, and there's a hand coming in, sticking 2 fingers in, grabbing just a big old scoop of that shit, and it's very obviously a sexual innuendo, like getting 2 fingers getting 2 fingers right up in there. That. Oh, dude, you're getting right up in there.
Oh, I never thought about that. I missed that.
Oh, dude, that's one of the.
I missed that hard. Oh,
that's one of my favorite things about the album is the cover art on this. Like, man, the first time I saw this album, the cover art, I was just like, Thickfreakness. Oh, and you're getting right up in there. Oh boy, this is gonna be a good album.
Holy crap! You just blew my mind. I never. That.
Oh, dude, that's what made me want to listen to this album. That and the fact that it's called Thickfreakness.
I mean, yeah, I never put 2 and 2 together like an idiot. Holy shit! Wow.
Oh man, I love this cover art. It's great.
Yeah, now I have a bigger appreciation for it because I'd never. Together. Holy crap. Sometimes I can be really dense.
Oh, you and me both, man. You and me both.
But yeah. Well, anything else, bub?
Yeah. So, how do you rate this album? Is this a 10 for you? It's a 10 for me. Yeah.
I thought we went over this. Like, yeah, whatever we're going to choose is going to be a 10.
we did. But I mean, I picked this album, so I wasn't sure if this was one of your favorite Black Keys albums or not, but,
pretty much everything up until after, what was the El Chulahoma?
Chulahoma,
or whatever. No, El Camino.
Oh, El Camino? Okay.
I think that one kind of, they went a little more disco-y kind of feel, which I didn't like. And then the one after that, I wasn't a big fan of either.
Okay, so El Camino, they definitely went the more alternative route.
Yeah.
And,
which I get as like artists, cause you put out 5 bluesy albums, then you want to do something a little different. I get that.
For sure. And
not the reason I fell in love with you. And we grow. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's fine.
For sure. And the latest album after El Camino was Turn Blue. I'm really not familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm not either. I've heard the
I'm pretty sure I've heard Fever, and which is on that album. I don't know if it's a cover or not. I don't remember if it's the Fever I'm thinking of. If it's the song I'm thinking of, it's a cover. If it's not the song I'm thinking of, then I don't know if I've heard it. I pulled up the track list just to look.
I'm familiar with.
I don't know.
With the newer. It's got that like blue and red, like white stripey or like a peppermint swirl looking thing.
Yeah, it looks like one of those old school like hypnotizing wheels.
Hypnotized things, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not really familiar. I really a lot.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm not familiar with the album, but I'll probably give it a listen. I'm reasonably familiar with El Camino. I did enjoy that album. It's not my favorite by any stretch. But I mean, it's not a bad album in my opinion. It's just not their strongest work.
It's not bad, but it's not I don't know, it's not like Magic Potion. It's not like any of the earlier stuff. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Before that, they had a very, I think up until Brothers, they had a distinct sound.
Yeah.
And even with Brothers, they were kind of doing a little more different things.
Yeah, they started
like with some of their songs, but beyond that,
Yeah, I mean, even with Tighten Up on Brothers, like that's their one of their probably, if not their most well-known song, it's up there in one of the most well-known songs, and even that steps out of kind of the style they've developed with the first 3 or 4 albums.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
So, but again, that album is fantastic, and it's kind of them delving off into the alternative world a little bit. I mean, that's not to say they aren't an alternative blues rock band, to begin with, because they definitely don't stick to the typical blues rock formula out of the gate. I mean, they're already, they have the same type of tones, but they don't always keep that same kind of song structure. So I don't know. But yeah, their more recent stuff definitely is more out there for them. And, I don't know anything about Turn Blues, so I can't speak to that, but I enjoyed El Camino. It's just, it wasn't anything like this.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, you got anything else to say, Bubba?
I don't think so, man. I think that's about all I got. What about you?
It's pretty much all I got too, Bubba.
All right. So thanks for listening, everybody. We're on wherever you get your podcasts, Stitcher, iTunes, sadpandapresent.com, Facebook. Facebook is where you want to go if you want to leave comments, if you want to reach out and suggest an album, anything like that. If you just want to shoot the shit and talk to us, find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/sadpandapresentspodcast, and reach out to us there. That's where we will immediately respond. So yeah, let us know what you think.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, nothing else. It's been fun. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. And y'all have a great... Bye.
Bye.